Right, so this is an introductory video to the Skydroid T10 remote used with the Aqua Cat. There's a couple of different ways that it can be used. This is in its basic form. The cradle that we have here can either be attached or left off. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to make little videos for each section. Right, with the remote, we've got a couple of levers and a couple of switches. Not all are used. Basically, we've got the left stick, which is the throttle, the right stick, which is the rudder, left and right. On the top, we've got switch E, which is the sail mode switch. You move it to the right, R for RTL to come home. In the center for manual sailing. And if you've marked a waypoint, which I'll explain just now, you pull it down to auto, which is down, and then the boat will sail to the waypoint if you saved one. The normal operation is in manual mode. And none of the other switches are used. That's not used, and that jog wheel is not used either. So on the front here, we've got the power switch. I'll put it on like that, and then we've got A, which is the waypoint marking button, and B is the bait release. So those are the switches that are being used. Right, you always begin by turning the radio on, just like that, and then you turn the boat on. Obviously, having installed your battery, you turn the boat on, and you'll hear sounds like that. You'll also see you see the LED flashing. Now, that's called a status LED. At the moment, it is searching for satellites, and when it finds 10 of them, then it's going to flash green like that. When it flashes green, it's got sufficient satellites to give you a good fix. You then hold the rudder stick to the right for around 10 seconds until it stops flashing. Right, and immediately after it became solid green, it went to this flashing red, which is an EPK fail. It's basically double checking or disputing the satellite read that it's got. So you just don't move the boat for 1 minute after you've armed it, and the moment that it's satisfied itself that the fix is good, then it will go back to a solid green. So again, after arming, you arm it when it flashes green, it becomes solid green. You don't move the boat for a minute. At some point, up to 15 or 20 seconds, it could start flashing red. If it does, it's going to just double check the waypoints that it's been saved. When it's satisfied, it becomes solid green, and now you can move the boat. So from a function point of view, when I hit this button, the tray pops open. Importantly, after you've opened the tray, you can see the servo is pushing in that direction. There's a spring on the catch, and you don't want the servo to be working harder than it needs to. But directly after releasing your bait, push the button again, the light goes off, and the servo will reset to that position. For a waypoint, this button A is for waypoints. Now let's say you sailed out 300 meters and you're going to drop your bait. You drop your bait with that one, but at the same time you want to mark the spot. You simply put that on and put it off. So that marks the waypoint. The marking is complete when you lift it up. So you press it in, press it again, lift it up, and that completes the marking of the waypoint. So when you have a waypoint and you want to sail there in the future, all that you do is you pull this lever to the left. This one over here, sail mode switch. It will then, you launch the boat, pull that switch down, and the boat will sail out to the waypoint. If you want to clear the waypoints, this is how we do it. You put the boat off, you put that switch on, you can see it lights up slightly, A. You then turn the boat on, watch the status LED, you can see it through the little window on the cover. I'm opening it so you can hear the tones as well. When you see it flash blue, that's long enough, let it go, and now all waypoint data has been cleared. That's not the home coordinates data, but it's only the data that you've saved using the waypoint marker. Or a mission, if you've created a mission using the app, which I'll get to shortly, and you want to clear all of the waypoints, you simply push that down, put the boat on. So the radio's on first, push the button in, put the boat on, and then wait until it flashes blue, and then lift it again, and that clears all the waypoints. Okay, so just very quickly, when you install your battery, this is how you orientate it. The positive wires come off the front. It actually comes from the bottom. So you bring the wires on a tar-2 battery, the wires, the positive and negative wire will come from the bottom. Just arrange it so it comes over the top, and then turn the battery over so the data cable or balance charge cable is on the top, so it's not impeding the way it goes in. That's the way it should be orientated. Okay, then once you've hooked your bait on, there's no right and wrong way. You're going to find the way that you're going to do it. But basically these two pins here are used to either hook your sinker and your trace line for your bait. But you can close it. To close, you simply use your thumb, press that in, and it will latch like that. Now obviously it only works that way when button B is not being pressed. If button B is being pressed, then that will be sitting like that. So obviously B must be up, light off, and then you can close it this way. Okay, one last thing on this video. When you tighten this hatch, you tighten this bolt with the Allen key and that one alternately just for a little while until they both take cleanly. You make sure that they're not cross-threaded, and there's no guesswork. You tighten the bolt until it doesn't tighten anymore. You don't have to break the key off, but when the key doesn't want to turn anymore, it's hit the bottom. Now inside of here is a stopper that hits on that stopper, so that gives the exact right pressure. But if you don't tighten the hatch properly, and the boat gets water in, it does very serious damage. So please always remember, and if you've taken the boat out of the ocean after you use it, and you're going to rinse it, you must always rinse the boat with fresh water. In particular in this vicinity, in the catch here at the back, open the tray, inside the springs, inside there, you must rinse it thoroughly. So either in a swimming pool or a hose pipe, garden hose, but rinse the whole boat very thoroughly before you release the hatch. And then obviously when you release it, you're going to dry the well here. You never put water in the inside of the boat. In fact, you should never see any water in the boat at all. So just back to this, you tighten these bolts alternately, and then you tighten them until they don't turn anymore. It's marked to tighten fully, and that's the way you must use the boat. You never, however, store the boat with those bolts tightened fully. They will destroy the seal. So very important, just the same way you tighten it to use it, you loosen it, you put 2 turns when you store the boat away. I should just mention the aerial, importantly. When I just want to show this to you. So the right in this pillar here, steel pillar, is the connector, the RF connector. It's a very fine connector. The other half's brought inside here. So the steel part gives it strength, but it is important that when you put it on, that you make sure it doesn't cross thread. It goes all the way to the bottom. And if you look there, the gap must be closed, and then you just use your hand like that, pinching it there mostly, and firmly tighten it, not with a ply, not with anything else, just with your hand. That's all you need to do.